So Team USA beat Japan today, or yesterday. Sorry, I'm losing track of days. They beat Japan last night, and it was a very, very comfortable win. Look, if this team ever, like Japan might upset a different team, but if a team that has A'ja Wilson, Breanna Stewart, and Brittany Griner just size-wise lose to Japan, there'd be something seriously wrong. Before we get on to, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are 4 subscribers out 25.4k. We'd hit that, that'd be insane. But we do have to talk about this, the biggest talking points of this game, which is, it's going to be the biggest talking point around the Olympic basketball. It is what it is. That's just the way news is. That's just the way news is always going to be in basketball, where it's as much about the off the court stuff and the narratives as it is about the actual sport. So I'm going to be talking about hopefully as much about the possible or the sport itself and the implications of obviously not bringing Caitlin Clark to the Olympics. What are the implications of not bringing Caitlin Clark to the Olympics? Probably nothing. Probably nothing. That doesn't mean that they shouldn't have done it. At the end of the day, I think even if the logic is Caitlin Clark needs a break, you don't want to bring her, you don't want to bring any rookies, I still think not bringing 2 point guards is a really dumb idea, especially because their only point guard can't run. And look, Chelsea Gray played well yesterday. She played well yesterday, but like some of this stuff you see on social media is nonsense. Absolute nonsense, where it's like plus 17. Look, she was one of, when Caitlin Clark had a similar enough game to this in the All-Star game, they were like, oh, she's 2 of 9 or 2 of 9. She sucks. It was like Chelsea Gray is 1 of 5, same difference. But Caitlin Clark is better than Chelsea Gray. Like there's no question about that. For me, if I'm ranking WNBA point guards, as far as like actual point guards, not 2s playing the 1, I'd have like, you'd have Tash Cloud, Skylar Diggins-Smith, Caitlin Clark, and Julie Vanley over Chelsea Gray. You just would. You just would, based on how they're playing right now. But one thing I was very impressed with was, like Chelsea Gray's passing still there. She's still an elite passer, and she actually can set up a play as a point guard, which is something that I do like. And I think in general, had they brought another point guard and had Chelsea Gray, even if they wanted to start Chelsea Gray, because they should have started Chelsea Gray in the last Olympics when she was healthy. They started Steward over. Even if they wanted to bring another point guard, start her because they feel bad about not starting her in the last Olympics, and bringing in another point guard to come off the bench, because Kelsey Plum did not look great at the 1. Kelsey Plum was fine. When she was attacking the basket, she looked good. It's just she's not a point guard. Sabrina Ionescu is not a point guard. Like, the team, because of the way the team needs to play, the ball needs to get to Stewie and the ball needs to get to A'ja Wilson. And look, is Chelsea Gray the best player for that? Yeah. I'll give him that. On that team right now, Chelsea Gray is the best point guard. By default, but she is the best point guard. And in a game where it came against Japan, like, look, people being like, oh, Caitlin Clark would turn the ball over 6 times. Chelsea Gray didn't take the ball up. She gave it half the time when she was being pressured full court. She gave it to A'ja Wilson, let her take it up, got the ball back, and kind of backed down the smaller guard. And in fairness, some of the passes, there was one unreal pass she threw to Stewie where she's kind of diving downwards, put it right in her path. And look, I don't think this Team USA team is going to lose. And to say they need Caitlin Clark is crazy, because look, the only chance they have of losing, especially again with Julie Alamont, with Belgium losing her, they don't have a chance. Heck, they lost to Germany. And look, Team USA are not losing to Germany. Unless Satu drops 40, which he's not going to do, Team USA are by no means they're just not. They're just absolutely not going to lose to them. But for the French team, France might give them a bit of trouble because of the speed that they play at. But Team USA are going to win because of her. I don't think there is a question that the 2 best players in the world right now are A'ja Wilson and Breanna Stewart. They are the 2 best players by quite a lot. And they're both in the same team, and they both play well together. They both complement each other's play styles. It's going to be hard to beat them. You could find the 3 I'm trying to think who's the worst point guard in the W. I don't even know that many backups. Like, she's not, but let's just say, as far as the least minutes, let's just say if you brought Grace Berger to play point guard, I know she's good, but just for the point. If you had Grace Berger playing the point, Celeste Taylor playing the 2, and what American small forward doesn't play many minutes in the W? I honestly can't think off the top of my head. I don't know the end of bench warmers for most teams. Let's just say, I don't know. What's her name? Screw it. Let's just say if Christy Wallace is American. If you went out with Grace Berger, Christy Wallace, or even and Celeste Taylor with Stewie and Aja, they would still win. And the one thing I did like about Chelsea Gray yesterday is you can only play who's in front of you. And she didn't try to do anything she couldn't do. Like, she can't run. Like, that is a almost fact right now, is she legitimately just cannot run. And in fairness, she didn't try. She didn't try to burn the quicker Japanese players. She got the ball to Aja, and then she just got it in the half court, kept good control of the ball, and threw the ball high to the players who had a foot height advantage off switches. So she did exactly what she needed to do. And look, I think that there is the big talk about Chelsea Gray is because of who they left behind. And not only that, she's the only point guard. And how, look, she's not been good in the WNBA season. For people being like, oh, she's, like the team record is better with her. Yeah, of course it is. But like, it's just a team that didn't have a point guard and went 7 deep now has a point guard. And Tiffany Hayes is there, is like starting to play better. And then they go like 8 deep. A team who didn't have a point guard now has a point guard. Like, it would be like taking... I'm just trying to think of, like, a team that their point guard wasn't anything brilliant, but they needed the point guard. The Chicago Bulls. Like, look, Lonzo Ball. That Chicago Bulls team were a 1 seed before Lonzo Ball got hurt. Lonzo Ball was not an all-star. Lonzo Ball's not on Team USA, but his team went from being one of the best teams in the NBA to being a sub-500 team just from him, just because of how important his role was. And to say Chelsea Gray's role isn't important for the Aces is crazy. But also she's an exceptional passer. But Chelsea, like, we also do have to say that, like, Chelsea Gray, if we're talking about purely basketball, Chelsea Gray is not... Next year, if Chelsea Gray turns into prime Chelsea Gray again, if she's healthy, this is a different question. But right now, Chelsea Gray is a safety passer. She is a safe pass maker. She'll get a lot of assists in this game. Look, if she goes and gets 15 assists against France, I'll throw my hands up and say, okay, yeah, maybe she's the right player for this team. And I do think the team looks way better without her, or with her on the floor than without her. So, like, if you were to replace someone on Team USA, it wouldn't be Chelsea Gray. It, without question, would not have been Chelsea Gray. Because she did what she needed to do. She didn't do anything dumb. She got it high, and she got the ball to her teammates in positions to score. There's a difference between the way Chelsea Gray right now plays point guard and how Caitlin Clark plays a point guard. Like, Caitlin Clark is... She's the one who frees up everybody else. Whereas Chelsea Gray is doing very well at finding players who free themselves up. They're two different types of point guards. If you're asking me, would 30 of 30 WNBA teams, including the Aces, swap Chelsea Gray for Caitlin Clark? Yes. Is Caitlin Clark better than Chelsea Gray? Yes. Should Chelsea Gray be on this team? Yes. Yeah. Like, she's just like a Diana Taurasi. She's a safe pair of hands. She's experienced. She knows what she's doing. And you don't have to just have a bunch of scorers and high-volume players when you have Aja Wilson on your team. And in fairness, she's done a good job of passing it to Breanna Stewart and Aja Wilson. It's their team. This is their team. And do I think they'd be better with Caitlin? Yeah. Do they need Caitlin? Hell no. They're winning gold anyway. The only chance they have winning gold is if they just don't show up completely and another team gets nuclear hot. It's the same thing in the men's. If another team gets nuclear hot and they don't show up, they can lose gold. Otherwise, they're winning gold.